Hello everyone, good evening and a warm welcome to today's session and thank you for taking time out and being here today. Myself Maulik Dudretia in Addact Technologies. I'm responsible for digital transformation strategy and focusing on how we can make strategy to leverage digital experience platform and make success story. I have 12 years of experience with project planning and strategy and have a strong background in a customer experience strategy, program roadmap development, and making and merchandise team training. With us, Mr. Ketan Garal is also here, and he is awarded 2 times of MVP from a Sitecore community, and he has a 15 years of experience in the IT arena, contributing in the role of being a developer to technical architect. A recorded version of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel in webinar playlist. You can search our YouTube channel just typing Addact on a search bar. We will also post a link of a video on our different social media pages. So let's start with an introduction of our today's topic, that is planning and implementing a multi-site personalization strategy. So one of the most discussed topic currently in the digital world is that for enterprises that have a global presence, the post-pandemic world and the customer buying pattern will change dramatically. It would be inventable for them to become a data-driven entity to understand the evolving buying pattern in the future. There will be a lot of factors that would affect the customer behavior, such as the mindset of a recently pandemic-free population, the situation of the coronavirus in the country, the restriction imposed by the government to restrict the virus from resurging, and numerous other such factors. Thus, for those enterprises who wish to grow in a such challenging time, it will be essential that they have a digital platform that allow them to collect maximum data and based on that deliver personalized user experience. But delivering personalized user experience with one common website for all will be impossible when there are such unpredictable conditions, and maintaining multiple domains will be too expensive and challenging too. So the best way to deliver personalized user experience and to cope with the varying conditions of the market, customers, and the government, it is essential that establish multi-site personalizations program. When you have multi-site program, not only can you deliver a personalized user experience, you can also collect and centralize data from all websites and get better customer understanding. And while creating a multi-site personalizations program has its own set of challenges, the rewards, on the other hand, are much more exponential and fruitful. So let's understand the challenges first and then the way to solve them.
Challenges of creating a multi-site personalization program. Since every business has different business processes, offerings, and customer mindset to deal with, the biggest challenge is that there cannot be a single formula or approach that work for all. Due to this, not even the companies from the same industry can implement same strategy. And thus, the biggest challenge is identifying which multi-site strategy works the best for your business. Enterprise will have to invest a lot of money in planning and research, and they would also need a technical expert that can validate the whole thing and provide appropriate substantial proof that it is possible to execute the multi-site personalization program or not. One other challenge is to choose the platform that will help you deliver seamless experience to all your customers on all the various platforms, and also provide data analytics capability that can help you understand the customer behavior and based on that deliver a personalized user experience.
So now key requirements to overcome the challenges and reap the rewards. So the first thing you will need is Sitecore external platform for analytics, personalization, marketing automation, and to host all your websites. So we will provide enough reason why Sitecore is the best for multi-site personalizations program during this webinar. So apart from that, here are things that you will require to create a multi-site personalization program. Like you will have to research and collect all the data that will require to plan. You will then have to plan all the things well in advance and have the first draft ready. So then you will have to create a cross-functional teams and collaborate with them, update the plan and create the final plan that is validated by all. And also you will have to divide the plan in smaller steps to reach the end goal and start training and preparing the employees for a successful execution. At the end of it, you must have certain things defined with the collective efforts of all user persona, objective and end goals, and customer journeys.
Approaches to multi-site instance and personalization strategy. Once you have the answer to user persona, objectives, and goals, and customer journeys, you will then have to finalize the approach that you will take to establish the multi-site instance of your organization. As discussed earlier, every business need customized solution, but when it comes to a multi-site, the sites are mostly bifurcate on one or the combination of four approaches: multi-regional site, multi-channel site, multi-brand site, and multi-segment sites. To help you make an informed decision, we will elaborate on each approaches and explain how one can create personalization experience in each approach.
So approach to multi-site instance and personalization strategy. So start with the personalization approach in multi-region site. Different sites are launched for each country where the organization has presence. So here the personalization is broadly based on the concept think global but act local. So in multi-region site, the UI components and website layouts remain the same for most of the websites, but by collaborating with the local teams, organizations can personalize customer journey by localizing few things. Like you will need to determine how the customer interact with your website, and then personalize the language, font, and experience based on the local preference of the users. And then data collections can be made based on the geolocation of the users, and also based on the collected data, marketing campaigns can be personalized. So a quick tip for you before we jump to the next approach: instead of full-fledged development, start with one or two region and use the experience and challenges when you plan the full rollout.
The second we are discussing is personalization approaches multi-channel and multi-segment sites. In this approach, there will be a one main website that represents the brand, and then there will be a subdomain based on businesses or customer segment. For instance, there will be a one website for university, that is xyz.com, and then there can be a multi-site for different fields such as mba.xyz.com, engineers.xyz.com, and so on. Or you can also go with a different user segments such as students.xyz.com, teachers.xyz.com, and so on. There can also be multiple channel or portal, like admins will use the admin portal, and students can use the mobile app, and teacher can log in using digital signature. In this approach, personalization can be made using strategies. The first thing that must be ensured is that all the websites represent single brand, and thus they must not be treated as silos, and they must interact and integrate with each other. This approach is useful for those who wish to personalize experience for a specific user person. Example: customer, student, teacher, vendor, and other such users. Thus, personalization can be defined based on different profiles and user journeys. Also, automated marketing campaigning can be defined for each portal.
Now, the last is personalization approach in a multi-brand site. So in this approach, an organizations that has multiple products and offering can create different sites for each brand and then connect them all in a single site for instance. So in this approach, personalizations can be made using a strategy like here it is possible that there will be a different marketing teams for each brand. And thus, the first thing is that all the teams must collaborate with when the personalization strategy is made. Common denominators of personalization must be finalized, and based on that, individual executions of each brand must be made. Also, create a multi-site tracking to create appropriate user journeys. The data from all the sites must be collaborated to create a marketing automation and personalized offerings. And last, the data of all can be used to upsell and cross-sell.
Now, practical approaches to implementing multi-site personalization. Once you have multi-site personalization plan that is validated and accepted by all the stakeholders, the next step is to break the whole plan into small steps. And based on that, take a practical approach to execute the whole plan. To help you create an ideal execution plan, we have created steps that an organization can follow to execute the whole plan. These steps are based on our technical expertise and past experience of executing Sitecore personalization with the use of Sitecore Experience platform.
Now, organizing the marketing control panel for a multi-site personalization. So for that first step of a multi-site personalizations, implementation is to organize a marketing control panel where the outcomes of the personalizations are documented. So with the use of a Sitecore marketing taxonomy, marketers can identify goals and outcomes that desired from multiple sites. Using the Sitecore's marketing taxonomy, marketers can create goals, campaigns, facets, groups, profiles, channels, and many more such things.
Creating an engagement value scale for multi-site instance. Once the goals are defined, the scope steps is to create an engagement value scale. In this practice, the priority of certain engagements and actions that are taken by the customers will be defined. For instance, requesting a demo is an action that will be a higher priority and click on video will be a lower priority. This will help your developer in planning certain element of personalization and in a rule definition amongst all the sites, and it will also help marketer in determining the manual and automation marketing campaign that must be triggered after a certain action is taken. So with the use of engagement value scale, the analytics and optimization process can be defined.
So consideration for a campaign taxonomy for a multi-site instance. Now that you have goals and priorities identified, the next step is where the developers and marketers will create and classify various marketing campaigns and website instances. So based on the created campaigns, the personalized user experience will be created and executed amongst all the sites. So with the use of a campaign-based personalization, Sitecore can be utilized to generate a quick win results with robust and scalable multi-site instances.
Crafting a profiling strategy for multi-site instance. The next step is to create user profile based on their past experience and the data collected by multiple websites. Once the profiling is done, rules of personalization and marketing automation can be defined for each set of profile.
Now here are hacks and tips for scaling personalization across a multi-site instance. So to ease the process of user profiling, Sitecore providers various hacks such as bulk profiling of users with common journeys. And there are also predefined rules that organizations can use for each profile, and Sitecore also facilitate various marketing automation campaign that can be implemented directly. So these rules, profiles, and marketing campaigns are defined by the vast experience of a Sitecore developers and marketer teams. So with these hacks and tips, the implementation of a personalization plan can be accelerated.
Now, technical privacy, organizational, and governance consideration. The next step is the technical specification that can be used to define the privacy policies, governance method, and technical considerations. In this step, things like multi-site tracking, data collection, and analytics of the multiple sites, use of cookies on various platforms, security measures to be taken on each step is defined.
Now, organizational structure and governance. So once the whole strategy is executed, the next step is defining the rules and responsibilities of all the players of the organization. So right from wall will create the content to wall will answer to each action that is taken, and wall will monitor the results and campaigns. So every person must be identified and assigned the role in the system using the organization structure, and complete governance team will be assigned. So when the organization has large number of contributors, this can help in helping the people in understanding their role, and it will also help top management in tracking the authorized personnel.
Privacy and data. Since data is the new oil, the last but definitely not the least step is to define the privacy policy and data protection protocols. Here it is the advisable that along with the technical experts who can help you create a strong data protection infrastructure, you also contact legal advisor who can bring further clarification and help the organization in certain foolproof data and privacy protection protocols and policies. Sitecore is considerable as a world-based platform when it comes to the personalization. Any organization with the help of the ideal Sitecore partner can definitely create a multi-site personalization program that can help you gain optimized result in this time of global pandemic.
So here up to all the points that we have been covered. So if you have any queries, then feel free to email us on the following email IDs: ketan@addact.in as well as maulik@addact.in.
And don't forget to subscribe our channel, YouTube channel, and you will get this video in our YouTube channel. Thank you.
So
Thank
again,
you for connecting.
yeah, thank you everybody.